What's up, everyone? Aaron here, and today at the Pocketbot Collective, we're dealing with a plague of Insecticons, where I'll be taking a look at NewAge's H10, 11, and 12 Commandos. They have individual names as well. We'll get into that when we look at the boxes. But this is obviously their take on the Insecticons. And if you want Insecticons that are specifically scaled for your Legends collection, then this is pretty much the route you have to go at this point, as no one else has really touched them yet. Strangely, NewAge has the market cornered at the moment. So they did release these in 4 different colors. I have the 2 sets you see here. The black cast plastic is the standard toy version, if you will. The gray cast plastic is marketed in online material as the TV LE edition, whatever you want to call it. And they do look a little bit more like they appear in the G1 cartoon. They also released them in translucent plastic, as NewAge loves to do, and one of those super limited, like 50 production runs, translucent purples. So if you're looking for those, good luck. But we're going to be taking a look at these 2 sets today. I've got both of them because I just love these guys so damn much. They're a lot of fun, really, for the size that they are. So let's not waste any more time, and we'll get on into it. So here's the box for the standard toy version, and looks pretty good in standard G1 style that NewAge likes to emulate. We've got Berial, aka Shrapnel, Master of Electronic Warfare, Abadon, aka Kickback, Espionage, and Asmodeus, aka Bombshell, Master of Psychological Warfare. Uh, I'm pretty sure all those names are references to demons in different mythologies. Uh, you decide which ones they are. That's fine. You can tell me in the comments if you want. But pretty much what you would expect from a NewAge box. Nice little product shot of them being Insecticons on the back. Here's the box for these guys. And it's done a little bit more of an Eastern style. I do like they use the same artwork, but it looks really good, and I like this little saying on this one a little bit better. Look deeply into my eyes with 2 exclamation points. Oh, that's great. Very nice. I kind of like this one a little better, and we've got a whole horde of Insecticons. Sort of the impetus for me buying a second set of these as well. And I'm glad I did, so kind of emulate that if I so choose. But yeah, there's your boxes. You will also get nice instructions for all 3 bots with both sets. So let's take a look at our Insecticons in their insect modes. And we'll take a look at these guys because they're a little bit more interesting visually. So here's Kickback. I like grasshoppers, so Kickback was kind of always my favorite, even though he kind of got the short end of the stick in regards to powers. He blackmails people, I think, in his G1 bio. So there you go, and he can kick things presumably. But it's obviously the robot modes on these are a lot better, as you will see if you're not familiar with them already. But it's fine for what it is. I mean, that's kind of what the G1 one is too, is just him kind of laying down as a grasshopper with extended legs, but nice little serrations on the kicking legs as well. Looks cool. His arms form the abdomen here. Kind of interesting transformation in regards to that, but it works well enough. Articulation wise, you can do quite a bit here with him, with his legs here, as you so choose. There's an extra joint here, as you can see as well, so you can do a little bit with that as well. And you can move these legs a little bit. They're just on this little hinge right here. So, and you can turn his head, but that's going to ruin the image of his grasshopper head. It's not a great grasshopper head, but beautiful silver wings here. Really love the silver on these guys. Really makes them pop with the black. So, looks good. here's Shrapnel. And again, the silver paint really is what makes them pop. Here. Silver on his weapon, which this is the recommended weapon storage position for Shrapnel. But his butt abdomen is just kind of hanging open here. This is kind of how the instructions just kind of tell you to do it. The instructions don't really mention a couple of things I'll try to remember to point out at different points here. I kind of actually like doing this look a little better. Kind of makes it look more like a regular bug abdomen, if you will. But as far as articulation in this mode goes, you can move his pinchers or antenna. I think they're meant to be pinchers because he's some kind of stag beetle, I think. So, purportedly, with this stag beetle, right? And like Kickback, you can move these little legs as you like. But he looks pretty good, I think. I mean, for what it is, you know, not winning any contests for alt modes, but you know. And here's Bombshell, and silver here on him really pops right there. But other than that, he's a nice sleek black overall. A little bit of nice purple paint right there. Both figures have that one. This one is almost devoid of purple, which, you know, that is kind of how he was in the cartoon, but I do like the look of this one better. But yeah, he's a rhinoceros beetle or something, right? Something along those lines. Articulation wise, you can move these legs right here, and that's it. And is, you know, this. And I'll tell you now, it's a little bit better on this one than it is on this one, because these are the ones I've actually been displaying in my collection. But this is a very loose joint. It's really the only joint in all of these that's not that great. But as you can see with him, a lot less vivid. Like I said, he does have the purple paint there, but other than that, and yeah, there you go. Just a quick look at these guys real quick before we move on. These gun things kind of pull out of his forearms to kind of emulate, I guess, the sixth legs of his beetle form. So there you go for that. And yeah, and I didn't mention weapon storage for him. Obviously, Bombshells is on his face, but they tell you just to plug his gun into his hands to just kind of store on his abdomen. So he does sort of have a over the back weapon, I guess, if you will. But yeah, they're fine for what they are. They're, you know, they're the G1 Insecticons. They're here in their buggy goodness. So let me get a few size comparisons real quick. Here they are real quick with my usual card comparisons. Magic Square, NewAge, Iron Factory, and Hasbro Legends class from them. So lengthwise not that much smaller, but you know, bulk-wise, definitely quite a bit smaller than all of these cars. And for a couple more Hasbro Beetles, here's the Beast Wars incarnation of Insecticon, which was their basic class back then, and Legends class Shrapnel from Power of the Primes. And yeah, pretty good size, smaller than even those figures. So, which were both sort of Legends class in their own rights. So here we are with all of our Insecticons transformed, and they are some snappy looking bugmen, in my opinion. Both sets look pretty good, but man, I'm really falling more and more in love with this original toy deco with this black and the silver. It's just really popping on these guys. So let's start taking a quick look at them. Here's Kickback, and absolutely beautiful face sculpt, beautiful paint on his face as well. Very vivid red, silver on his face. His head is just on a swivel, so you can get 360 as far as that goes. Now, I didn't mention it, but these wings are articulated in insect mode, but once you transform him, they are locked into place by his arm joints, which I do like. It's a clever bit of engineering, in my opinion, but looks great overall. Like I said, this black and this silver just really pops. As far as the rest of his articulation goes, um, lots of ball joints on these guys, so that's a downside for some people. I think it works pretty good here. So right here at the shoulders, you get what you would expect there. At the elbow, so you get all of that range, and that's it for him. So he does have waist rotation, not 360, but you can get it pretty far with him. He's the only one that does not require you to turn him at the waist to transform, so I suppose that's why, but that's good enough for sure. Ball joints at the hips, so full splits, kicking all the way forward and back, no problem at all. Now, as you saw with transformation, he has this extra joint right here, so if you want to use it while you're posing him around, feel free to do that. Other than that, another ball joint here at the knee, which is going to get a little further than 90 degrees, and a little bit of movement as far as that goes, since it's a ball joint. And finally, you've got a ball joint at the end of this hinge right here that makes up the serrated part of the leg. So it gives you a little bit of rocker and the rest of the range of movement you would expect from that. But very, very posable for such a little figure. And I think he looks great. Just real quick, this Kickback, like I said, you can see the difference in the deco. His face is still painted with that beautiful red. So, looks great, in my opinion. And a little more dull, but I do like the white on his wings. This is white paint on them and on Shrapnel's pinchers, and it's a very nice little touch. I really like it for this coloration. So, not bad at all. Shrapnel. Once again, beautiful, beautiful, vivid red face paint for the visor here and on the face. Silver on his pinchers, his electrical pinchers or whatever. Again, looking good with this black and silver, in my opinion. I think, and the a little bit deeper of a red. It's very close to the purple on the other, but there is a slight darker hue to it than the TV versions. But again, ball joints here at the shoulder, so what you would expect with that, you could get 360 if for this, not for this backpack. If you want to move it out of the way, I suppose you could do that. His head is just on a swivel as well, so it's going to do 360 as well. As you like, you can move his pinchers however you like. And other than that, a ball joint at the elbow, so same thing. I didn't mention this, but you do compress this after transformation, so sort of like a underarm blaster thing. I don't know if he ever really used. I know he had it in the model. I don't know if I really remember seeing him use it in the cartoon, but it's cool to have extra. I like built-in weaponry on bots. It's always pretty cool. Waist rotation again due to transformation. Ball joints at the hips there. So what you would expect there. He does have a thigh cut right there for 360. Knees right at 90 degrees. And he's got another ball joint at the ankle, so lots of ankle rocking goodness as far as that goes. And looks good. I like the little bug backpack. I think it looks good. I didn't mention it with Kickback, but I love the engineering where his bug legs just fold up inside of him. I think it's really pretty cool. Just a quick look at this Shrapnel. Again, beautiful face paint once again, and I do like this white paint on him. Otherwise, we've got some more purple. His weapon is cast in purple. Oh yeah, I totally forgot to mention accessories. So obviously they all have their weapons, and as you saw, they can all hold them fine. But while I'm thinking about it, they all come with an Energon cube each that you saw in the opening for the review. So those are always cool to have. Between these guys and all the Insecticons, I have a boatload of them now. So let's get to Bombshell here. And again, this silver paint is just popping on these figures. Look absolutely great. His face sculpt here, let's get close on him because he looks great. He's almost got like ruby sort of colored eyes. It's a very gem-like quality to his eyes. It looks great. Now, unlike the other two, his head is actually on a little ball joint, so he does have a little bit. Let's get back into focus. He does have a little bit of up and down, so and a little bit of side to side. You could get 360 if not for his shoulder pads. So, now he does have a ball joint right here on his back, so you have a butterfly, reverse butterfly, due to transformation. Otherwise, this is all one piece that you can just rotate 360, and then you also can rotate it out right here at the shoulder. So works pretty good. Not a conventional setup, but I think it works pretty good. Again, another ball joint at the elbow, so what you would expect with that. And as you saw, he does have wrist rotation due to transformation. I looked at it again, and I'm pretty sure the instructions did not mention that in his transformation, you need to clip them to this part down here on the back of his legs. So that's why he actually has wrist rotation and the other two do not, so that you can rotate them and have him hold that and sort of hold his beetle form together. But nice to have for sure. And I will say joints on these guys are super tight. They're still pretty tight on my other set, despite all the posing I've done on them. But these guys feel really nice. All the joints do still. I haven't messed with them that much. I think I've transformed them like twice before I did this review. So, anyway, again, ball joints at the hips, 360 at the waist, as you just saw. Knees are going to get way further than 90 just due to how the legs transform. So that's pretty cool. And he has this little toe rocker, but otherwise he's a little limited in regards to the ankle rockerness. But he's still pretty poseable. I think he's fine. And again, looks great, in my opinion. This is definitely the winner of the two bombshells. Now, as far as he goes, again, he does still maintain those nice ruby eyes, but otherwise, very different coloration. Again, the only purple is this little bit on him here. And I mentioned that about the joints. These joints at his elbow, especially, they feel a little loose, but it's not like they're like, loose enough to just be flopping around. So really, the only joints I've had with this entire set that have been a problem has been this, and it's already a slight problem on this one, but this, and that's it. So all the joints on this entire set feel really nice. So that's enough babbling about articulation on all these figures. Let's get some size comparisons and wrap this up. Here they are with a couple of Iron Factory Decepticons, the Seeker and Sunstorm, and our boy Runabout. And since Magic Square hasn't gotten around to making any Insecticons yet, here they are with Magic Square Megatron and Soundwave to show you how they look with them. I think they look perfectly fine. I think they fit in perfectly with Magic Square. Even if you're a Magic Square mostly collector and you don't feel like waiting, I still think these guys are a pretty good fit. And for a couple of official, here they are with core class versions of the same two guys. And I think scale wise, they still work pretty good here too. So, hey, if that's something you want to do, still looks pretty good in my opinion. Like I said, these dudes are snazzy in my opinion. Final thoughts on NewAge's H10, 11, and 12. They're Commandos. I love these figures. They're definitely a recommendation for me. The only negatives I can really think of would be the weaker insect modes and maybe the looseness of the hinge on Bombshell's weapon. Can't really think of anything else. As you can see, these guys are still pretty posable, even though they're mostly articulated with ball joints. So, even though that technology has aged a little bit, I still think it works quite well with these little guys. And just for their size, they're impressive. Paint applications on them are great where they're needed. Just really great looking figures all around, both versions, in my opinion. So, as far as other negatives, the only negative other one I can think of would be maybe price now. Um, when these guys were new, I think they were around 60 US dollars, which I think is pretty fair for getting three figures. But the prices are probably pretty high now. So hopefully, someone else will make some of these guys for newer collectors and sort of soften that marking up a little bit for everyone else. But until then, if you want Insecticons for Legend Scale specifically, like I said, these guys are pretty much the route you have to go. So, but quality wise and everything, I think you're getting a great product, in my opinion. So, that's going to do it for the review. Hope you all enjoyed it, and have a good one. Till next time.